Welcome this week to On the Road with Ice Castle, and we are with Wayne Schmaltz from Garrison Sports in Garrison. And if you want to find out all the little tips, tricks, and secrets from Wayne here about how to fish this lake this year and all the great ice that's coming, stick around because you're going to like it. All right, welcome to another On the Road with Ice Castle, and we have a great guest today, Wayne Schmaltz from Garrison Sports up on beautiful Mille Lacs Lake. If you hear a little road noise out there, it's due to some traffic this morning. You're right in a prime spot here in Garrison. Wayne, tell me a little bit about Garrison Sports. And oh, by the way, we have Brady and Jenny with us here today.
Hey, Wayne.
We're doing a group effort here. Tell me a little bit about Garrison Sports.
We're a year-round bait and tackle shop. We run launch boat in the summertime, and then in the wintertime, plow ice road, rent houses, shuttle people around. We do a little bit of everything. Fixed a few houses over the years, stuff like that. So.
Well, it's been an interesting last couple of years, huh?
Yeah.
Just tell me how that's had a impact on your business.
Well, last year we just never really got going. We did a lot of early season stuff. People with portables. We have our early season day houses that we were able to get out. You know, we can move those around with a 4-wheeler or a side by side. So we were able to do that, but we never got any big houses out on the lake. We privately store just under 70 private houses. So those guys were chomping at the bit and just never. We couldn't get out there. It was, we'd have a foot of ice in one spot and 6 inches in the other, and it just wasn't safe to bring the big rigs out.
The snow gods or the ice gods are smiling on us this year.
Yeah,
so.
it's going to be a good year. It doesn't have a choice.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about how your business works. Obviously, you have a good summer business.
Yep.
And then, of course, your winter business and what you do in the winter, depending on, obviously, the weather. What's a normal ice up for Lake Mille Lacs?
It seems to be getting later and later every year, unfortunately. Back in the day when I was a kid, we were a lot of times driving our trucks at that Christmas to New Year's week. The last few years, it's been substantially later than that. This year, if the weather stays the way it's going, it'd be nice to be rolling here in a week and a half.
Nice.
Yeah, we're recording this just before the big ice show down in St. Paul here. So we're going to try to get this rolled out before that. So which would be nice just to get people. But, as we look out the window right now, I'm looking at ice in the bay here.
Yeah, it's trying its hardest. We got some cold nights coming. If that wind would just go away, things would start to happen here.
Yeah.
But it's been steaming right away in the mornings, which is a sign. It's ready to freeze. We just need the weather to work with us, the wind to die down, and stay cold.
Yeah, it looks like the foreseeable future is pretty good as far as the forecast goes. But I should mention, if you're watching this for the first time, this is On the Road with Ice Castle, and we do this as a podcast. We kind of just started a roll here for this year. Lots of exciting things coming up, and I should mention that our sponsor is Granite City Motor Car out of St. Cloud and Ramsey. So that thanks to people over there for helping make this possible. So, do you guys have any questions for Wayne here?
Not yet. I'm just excited to hear about what you got planned.
Yeah.
Is most of your business just word of mouth? Like people have been coming to you for years? And
Yeah. Word of mouth. We do a lot on Facebook.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of it. People come up, have a good time. Hopefully have a good
And
time.
then they come back, right?
Tell their friends, and
Yep.
we got a really good customer base. There's guys and gals that are here year in and year out every weekend, and that's summer and winter. We've got guys that they're guaranteed to be on the launch boat every Saturday morning to go northern fishing in the summer, and there's
They come
families
back free in the winter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
families coming in the winter, and
Yeah.
it's fun.
So you do a launch boat too, then?
Yep.
And how does that work? How big is it? How many people can you get on it?
68-foot pontoon. We can fit. We try to max it at 35 people, just so there's room. If you're out there shoulder to shoulder, it's not that much fun. But we do walleye fishing and northern pike fishing, which we have a huge following for the pike fishing. We're once again one of the only people that are doing that really on the launch boats, and We snag a few every year over 40 inches.
How do you fish them?
Sucker minnows.
Okay.
So we're drifting with suckers, and my captain Brett, he's been doing it since he was a kid. His grandpa owned Garrison Sports before I bought it, so he does a great job and he works hard at it. So
what inspired you to buy the business, and when did that happen?
I bought in January of 2020. I grew up basically working in the bait shops here in town. I started 13 or 14 riding my bike to work, and I like BSing with people, talking about hunting and fishing and everything else. And I went off and worked road construction for about 10 years and had enough of living out of a suitcase. So went from working 6 days a week to 7.
But at least it's your own business, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much family run. It's my wife Ashley and I. My captain Brett, he works full time in the summer and he helps us in the store in the winter time. We got a couple other part-time guys for here and there things, but for the most part, it's my wife and I and a couple of kids growing up. Hopefully, they wanna do it too. So
yeah, how many kids do you have?
3.
Okay, and ages?
12, 8, and 2.
Okay,
so we're busy.
You got your hands full.
Oh yeah,
keep them helping you.
Oh
sure.
yeah,
yeah. What do they like? What are the jobs that what do you got them on for jobs?
Gage, he's the 12-year-old. He goes out on the boat in the summer and bait boys. He'll count leeches for us and wax worms and pretty much whatever we ask. He's a good helper and he loves fishing. We lose him every now and again in the winter time because he just goes out fishing and we don't see him till dark. We gotta go find him. If he gets the opportunity, he's gone. So
that's awesome. Yep. And what are the size slot limits and stuff for this ice season here on Mille Lacs? 2 walleyes.
It's a miracle. I can't believe it, but it's going to be exciting. So yeah, 2 walleyes between 18 and 20 inches.
Oh, that's nice.
And yeah, I haven't seen that since I bought the store.
Yeah.
It's always been one fish, but I think it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be fun.
It's such a great lake and good muskies here too. Do you get some muskie fishermen up here?
We do, not a ton. We're usually kind of closed down in the fall for hunting season when the big muskie guys come around, but it looked like there was another record that came out of here this fall again. So if you're into it, come up because there's some big girls in here.
Muskies are insane. My nephew Chase, he is. I swear to God, every week I see a picture of a 52 incher on his Instagram and stuff. He's just nailing them. So it's really
gotta be exciting.
Really fun. So what? So you got started. You bought. What inspired you to buy the business? What was the initial thought?
So funny story. I was out fishing, ice fishing, and the old owner's main ice guy, Greg. I always, if he needed help, stopped and helped him. Whatever. If see a crack, whatever, I'd let him know. And it was just one of those Sunday mornings. There was 1 million people out here, and it was all cracked up, and he was all by himself trying to move bridges around, and so I called him. He said, "Well, I'm slammed. Can you help?" Yeah. So he latched onto the big part of the bridge. I latched onto the small part, and we got it set and got people out heading off the lake, going home safely. And he looked at me. He goes, "Why don't you buy this place?" I said, "Well, didn't really know it was for sale. I always kind of thought maybe it would stay in the family or whatever." So I hopped in my truck, drove up here, and within about 20 minutes, we shook hands on the deal. And I worked one more summer, and the rest is history. So,
where were you living when you were you in town here?
Kind of in town. I worked for Knife River out of St. Cloud. Okay, so I actually had an apartment in Foley that I stayed in during the summer season while we were working, and pretty much lived in a fish house in the wintertime out on the lake fishing. So, but always been around here. My family's from Garrison, so.
Well, that's awesome. What's the biggest walleye you've seen come out of here?
Oh, there's been lots of them over 30 inches, 32s. I've yet to break the 30-inch mark, unfortunately, but
yeah.
There's a lot right now in that 18 to 24 range that we saw on the launch boat this summer. The over 28s or even 28 and up, we're not seeing quite as many of that. I think a lot of that maybe has to do with the slot that we've had taking the 21 to 23 inchers out. But I'm not a biologist neither. I just what I see. So.
And do you do do you do any fishing reports out of here or anything? Have you done anything?
I usually try to do some ice reports, fishing reports, just on our Facebook page.
Yep.
We got a brand new website too. So we might try and start doing some more stuff on that.
I saw your website. It looks nice.
Yeah.
So tell me about everything you sell here. What's the full product lineup?
So the newest thing and probably the biggest thing for this winter is we put in off sale. So we have beer, we've got liquor, ice. Otherwise on the bait and tackle side of things, it's full selection of minnows in the wintertime, waxworms, Euro larva. And then we try to carry as many of the major brands of jigs as we can. We're just a small store and it's full in there, but a lot of Northland stuff, a lot of VMC stuff, clam. We've expanded kind of our crappie selection to a lot of tungsten stuff. And we don't do a ton with augers and the big electronics. We kind of leave that to the big box stores, but if you need the lucky jig, we got it. So.
So you have off sale, and what kind of whiskey do you have? I'm asking this for Brady's old fashioned connoisseur.
We just my Budweiser delivery truck should be here any minute. But we got your Jack and your Jim in there right now. We got JMO. What else? I don't even know what else we got in there. I gotta look. We've been stocking the shelves trying to get it ready to go here. So
can you get stuff quickly? Do you have to order early? How's that work?
So usually what I try to do is in the spring I do my winter order. So when I still have all my winter stuff hanging up on the pegs, I get my winter order put in. So that way I know pegs will be full where I need them. And then we start going to the shows in September to see kind of the new stuff. A lot of times some of the reps are sneaking around showing us the new stuff that's coming out too. But yeah, it's order in the spring and then vice versa for the summer. We go through in the fall before we tear everything down and get written up what we need, and then it all goes into the POS system. So we know what we have. Sometimes we don't know where we put it, but we know what we have.
Yeah. So if they go to your website, what's your website?
GarrisonSports.com.
They go there. They can get a little bit of information on where you're located.
Yep.
How many stores like yours? Obviously, someone's not going to drive from the other side of the lake, but on this side of the lake, this would be the west side, right?
Yeah, we're kind of northwest corner.
Northwest corner.
Yep. There's Tuts Bait and Tackle. They're right behind us on Highway 18. Otherwise, heading south, you don't really hit another bait and tackle store till you hit Reed's. They're in Onamia. And then going around the north end of the lake, there's Sue's Bait, which she's got a nice little bait shop there too. So
yeah,
there's places to get your minnows.
You guys all pretty friendly. You get around and swap stories.
Yeah. It's too small of a community to be mad at each other. So
yeah, that's
we
good.
try to get along with everybody, and same with the other resorts. Twin Pines is just south of us. They run launch boats. They run fish houses. We kind of pass people back and forth. Miramar Marina's just north of us, same thing. There's been years when it's been a struggle, and we've tried to just connect our roads just to make more trucks plowing on one road, make it easier on all of us. But I try and get along with everybody. So
what are your top three, if someone said, what are the most interesting things you've seen happen here since you've owned it? You got any good stories?
Oh boy, where do you start? As far as people doing
you don't have
dumb stuff.
Well, people doing dumb stuff. I like that.
We've been setting a bridge over a crack, and had people drive right alongside the bridge and jump the crack and snap chunks off. We've seen some weird stuff with ice too. You got to respect the ice. As soon as you don't respect it, it's gonna get you. Like last year, I think a lot of it was because it was so warm, but all of a sudden, right at the bottom of my hill here, we all of a sudden had just a hole form. There was nobody that drilled a hole there. It was just all of a sudden a hole formed, and I'd never seen it before. I just about ended up in it because you didn't expect it to be there, But there's always something. We've snapped plows off of trucks. We've broke frames on trucks, and we do everything right in the parking lot. We've been out there 30 below putting differentials in, and it's always something.
So when you're plowing, I mean, you don't know there's a ridge or something.
Right.
Sometimes it's got to be pretty alarming when you hit that with your plow.
Yeah, it wakes you right up. Usually we try to go through like the first pass. I try to just go nice and slow and work your way through that. But there's spots that it'll rattle your teeth a little bit.
Yeah.
So we last year we invested a lot of money into ice equipment too, adding plows and a snowblower and trucks and stuff like that. And we'll get to fine tune it this year because we never got to use it last year. So
you start your initial road,
mm-hmm.
and you make sure to make it really wide to start with, and then it just does it shrink from there?
It kind of does, yeah. Because once you got the snowbanks there, you're not moving them again. Once those things harden up, they're concrete. We try to plow all the snow one direction. That way you can kind of keep widening your road the other way if you need to. But that's kind of why we bought that snowblower too for our side-by-side. We're hoping to kind of get a start with that, at least get a spot blown off to where the snowbank will end up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a science to it, but it's all learning as you go. You deal with the wind. If you kind of plow to which way the wind is blowing you, because if you're plowing against it, it all lands right back where you plowed it,
Do you, where do you connect? How far do you go out?
We try and get to the middle.
Okay.
And that's all snow dependent and weather ice, We for sure go to the Garrison Reef. We go to the 3 mile. We try to get to the Hourglass, the Secret, 7 mile, and the 8 miles, kind of where we aim for. Some years it ends up different, but a low snow year isn't bad because we can just put our blades down and go. But the high snow years, I plowed 2 winters ago when we had all that snow. I spent all day plowing a stretch over to the Hourglass and came back out in the morning, and a crack went back and forth across it all the way down and flooded the whole road. And we never were able to even get a road back over to there for the rest of the winter. It never got cold enough. It just kept flooding, and it was nasty.
How do you do the initial test run?
Well, I go out. I'm very cautious. I don't like to swim in the summertime, much less the wintertime. So I drill a lot of holes. We start walking, and then I try to drill holes every 20 steps or so.
Okay.
And then, usually where we're kind of running our 4-wheeler path is where we'll run our road too. So that's kind of where we justify where we're going. And we got the driveway stakes that you see people put in their driveways for plowing. We put those out to kind of mark our road, and then we know where we're going to a little bit. So,
yeah. So what are some of your goals moving forward? Where do you see this in a few years or 5 years?
Hopefully the kids are running it. No, we want to keep growing it. Obviously we can only go so big with the building we have. Keep updating equipment, keep getting bigger. We're like I said, we're a small place on the lake. We have 3 trucks to go plow, where some of these other bigger resorts, they've got 3 guys in trucks and 3 spares when they break them. But just keep going. We pride ourselves on customer service too. We want everybody to be happy and come back week in and week out too. So.
Well, Haley said you guys just couldn't say enough about you, about what great people you are, and
we try.
What a nice job you do here. So, have you seen an increase with this colder weather? Is the phone starting to ring?
It's starting to ring a little bit. Once the first cap over comes, the phone will start really going nuts, and we'll start selling a few road passes here too. So,
well, a couple things I want to just mention, if they want to get a hold of you, what's the best number? Obviously, they can go to your website.
Go to the website or Facebook. I try to, we've been busy, but I try to get any messages answered as fast as we can. Otherwise, 320-692-4477 is the shop phone, and we'll be on it. If we don't answer, call us right back, because we're probably talking to somebody on the other line.
Telling fish stories.
Right.
Yeah. Do you give free information to people, or do you...
Info is always free.
Do kind of a fun event up here for fishing for ducks. Tell me a little bit about that.
So it's put on by our local chapter of Ducks Unlimited, Fishing for Ducks. believe it's our 20-year anniversary. Take 2, because it was supposed to happen last year and we had to cancel. $20,000 to win. Lots of great prizes. It's a one-day event, Saturday, February 22nd.
Nice.
Tickets should go on sale in store here pretty suddenly. I believe we can get them online right now. Rhett Daniels is going to be here. The TV personality. If you don't know who he is, he's hilarious. But yeah, it's a fun weekend in town. We'll have plenty of spots plowed for wheelhouses. So it's a great time. It's a great weekend. Supports the Ducks, and we'll see how it goes.
So do you put some info on your website for that?
We'll share some stuff on Facebook and share. You can look up. They do have a Facebook page called Fishing for Ducks.
Okay.
And they have a website as well. But it's great. It's our whole community comes together for it, and we're a town of a couple hundred people, and there's over 200 volunteers for it. So
maybe we need to come up with the Bear Cave. We'll have to get it on the schedule here. Hopefully we can come on up and see it. That sounds like a fun event. So
it's a good time. Lots of people fishing. Probably the best Bloody Marys you're gonna have around the lakes. So we got a portable bar out there.
We're coming.
So, you know anyone that would like that, Jenny?
We'll get you a spot plowed out there.
Awesome. Well, sounds great, Wayne. That's awesome. We'll put it on the calendar.
Yeah, thanks.
We're heading up to Aiken here for the big
Fish House Parade.
Big
today.
Fish House Parade. So we thought we'd stop in and pay a little visit to you. What do you think of the Bear Cave here?
This thing is awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I had 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, well, I know a guy.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is a nice house. It's roomy, and it looks like it fish really well too. So I like that slide out straight out the back. That adds a lot of room.
Well, I can't say enough about the B&B boxes up front. If you have some gear that you're constantly needing access to on the outside, it's great to have a storage compartment there to throw your blocks in. Get the things outside that need to be outside, and not running around on the floor in the trailer.
You mentioned the slide out of the back. We have 2 slide outs here. We have one up front, one in the back, which gives us more space, obviously, for fishing out of and whatnot. But that's nice. Another thing that we did, Brady and I, we hooked up with Castle Winch, and we put that front bed up front, which is nice because it gives us the opportunity to have another sleeper up there, or we sometimes put some gear up there. So yeah, it's kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for Jenny, Brady. You guys have any other questions?
No, we're gonna have to come up and have you
come up and go fishing.
Yeah.
Sit somewhere else other than the parking lot.
Right.
Yeah,
we'll have you take us out.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It's a little closer for us. We go up to Red a lot, but we try to get around, and we weren't able to get out last year just because the ice was a little dicey here, and this isn't exactly a small unit. So
you need a couple inches to get this one out. So.
Yeah, for sure. So. Well, thanks for having us. And
thanks for coming up.
If you're watching for the first time here, you can like and subscribe the channel. That would be great, and hit notifications, and we'll ding you whenever we drop a new podcast. And always remember to just look on the Ice Castle YouTube page for these podcasts. And we try to make it. And another thing I'd like to say, I don't know your thoughts, Brady, but if you, Wayne, or anyone else out there has ideas of some nice topics we could do some podcasts on, we're totally all ears too, because we want to give people good content, things that they can maybe learn, have some fun with.
The ice fishing world is always changing too. There's new stuff every year, and especially with these big ice castles, it's pretty cool watching some of them come through the parking lot, and what the customizations that people do and stuff like that. It's cool.
Who have you seen? You got any that like you've seen some? What are the best?
Oh, my in-laws, they've got one, and I don't know. It was one of the early ones that they did the whole kitchen slides out in.
Yeah,
and that's nice because it adds a lot of when they're camping out there. It's everybody ends up in one fish house for dinner, so that added a lot of room. And so our core group of friends, they've all got ice castles, and they're always monkeying with them and tinkering with them, changing them, and so it's cool.
That's one of the things about them. They're easy to customize to your liking. So. Yeah. Well, Wayne, thanks a bunch coming on with us here.
Yeah,
and
thanks for stopping.
Learned a lot about your business. I hope you guys have a fantastic year this year and sell lots of bait and
a couple boxes of beer.
A couple boxes of beer and a little whiskey for some old fashions potentially. All right, buddy. Well, sounds good. Thanks a bunch, and we'll see you out on the ice.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Road with Ice Castle.